There's something bad going down in Austin, Texas tonight.
Many rounds were fired in downtown Austin. This time of the night, it's really dangerous.
Downtown Austin under attack. Tonight we're learning more about the man who police say opened fire. And a deadly shooting in Williamson County. A man under arrest accused of killing 2 people and injuring 3 others. People in downtown Austin early this morning could not believe what they were seeing and hearing. A gunman firing over and over again at buildings downtown. The only person killed, the gunman himself. This afternoon, police identified the shooter as this man, 49-year-old Larry Steve McWilliams. They say he opened fire around 2:30 this morning. He fired more than 100 rounds at the federal courthouse, the Mexican consulate on the west side of downtown, and Austin Police Headquarters on the interstate. They say it all happened in a span of 10 minutes.
Again, it was one gun. There they go.
This video was posted on YouTube early this morning. It was shot from the lighted parking lot under the interstate at 6th Street. The woman heard one burst of gunshots, started shooting video, and captured another burst.
My goodness, how many cops can they have in one short space? People are running. They're wondering what the hell is going on. There's cops. Everyone is like getting closer to the action. People are a little scared, I think.
After the first call about shots being fired at APD headquarters, that came in at 2:32. 1 minute later, Sergeant Adam Johnson with the mounted patrol fired at McWilliams. Sergeant Johnson was loading up horses for our mounted patrol, and they were done for the evening. Police Chief Art Acevedo says Sergeant Johnson was able to shoot with one hand while holding on to 2 horses with the other hand. He says he's relieved no one else was hurt.
We're very fortunate that at 2:22 a.m., as you all from Austin know how many people are out on the streets. We're very fortunate. This Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving Friday, and this weekend, I give thanks that no one but the suspect is injured or deceased. And that's something that we should all take a lot of comfort in.
Chief Acevedo says as officers approached the man's body, they discovered he was wearing a vest. They brought in the bomb squad because of concerns that vest might contain explosives. Turns out that was not the case. The officer who fired that shot at McWilliams is a 15-year veteran with APD, Sergeant Adam Johnson, now on paid administrative leave, which is the usual procedure when something like this happens. We also are digging into the past of the person police say is the shooter. KXAN investigator Kevin Schwaller spoke with one of McWilliams' neighbors.
Videos like this are on the Facebook page a neighbor confirms is McWilliams. He posted videos saying he was preparing for a Renaissance festival. In these videos, he wields swords and other objects. Pictures also show a more relaxed side on the water. Neighbor Katie Matlack spoke with us on the phone and told us she didn't expect this from McWilliams, who she knew as Steve.
He was sweet. I mean, I trusted my dog with him. I gave him my house key. We all just thought of him as Steve.
We found a more than 25-year-old misdemeanor drug conviction in Kansas for someone with the same name and birthday as McWilliams. However, we found no Texas records for major criminal history. Still, Police Chief Art Acevedo says this isn't McWilliams' first crime, but didn't give details.
That's part of the ongoing investigation. I can tell you that he does have a criminal history, but we're not going to release any of that at this point.
McWilliams has ties to Kansas. We traced his parents to Wichita. However, the people who answered the door didn't want to talk. A dance studio in Wichita also says McWilliams volunteered there. We're also looking into a newspaper article from 1992 naming a Stephen McWilliams as a suspect in an attempted armored car robbery. The address in that article matches one where records show McWilliams from today's case might have been living at the time. Kevin Schwaller, KXAN, investigates.
And investigators say the federal courthouse downtown was where McWilliams opened fire first. A U.S. Marshal says McWilliams came up this alley on the backside, opening fire on this unoccupied guard station.
We heard several shots, and soon thereafter we heard several more.
I heard about 12, because it was successive, like bang, 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 bang. I was thinking, is that the construction site again? So I called 311, and then I said, well, actually, maybe it sounds like gunshots.
People who live in the nearby condos told us it sounded like a machine gun going off. Investigators found at least 30 shell casings on the ground at the courthouse. At least 2 windows had visible bullet holes. A U.S. Marshal says if people were inside the building at the time, They could have easily been killed. Authorities say 1 minute after McWilliams fired shots at the courthouse, 911 dispatchers received a call about shots being fired at the Mexican consulate downtown. Police say they found about a dozen propane canisters on the ground there. They say it appears McWilliams wanted to set the consulate on fire. Nobody was hurt, but we spoke with people stopping by for services here, unaware the attack had happened, but certainly concerned after they found out.
I don't know, I got kind of a little scared because I'm around here. I don't know if that guy's still here or something. Anything can happen right now.
Because this site involves another country, Mexico, the FBI and the Diplomatic Security Service have joined the investigation. Chief Acevedo says he does not know why McWilliams went on the attack, but he says the fact that the Mexican consulate was one of the buildings targeted could be a big clue.
It'd be pure speculation, but if you look at a person shooting up the Mexican consulate, you know, and then the federal building, there's a pretty, and this is all speculation, but when you look at the national debate right now about immigration, that certainly comes to mind.
At APD headquarters, you can see the bullet holes in the shot-out windows there. The front doors were shattered by the bullets, glass littering the floor. The gunman even shot at the third floor of the APD building. Detectives inside dove to the floor, taking cover while bullets came through the windows. Today, shell casings were left scattered on the carpet. McWilliams' neighborhood was on edge for much of today as the SWAT team searched his apartment. They were concerned explosive materials could be inside, and they began evacuating people at the South Creek apartments at 5 o'clock this morning. As it turns out, no devices were inside, but they did find several propane canisters similar to those found at the Mexican consulate. One neighbor said when he heard they were searching the apartments, he had an idea about who it was, and when police showed him a picture of McWilliams, he was right.
Never said a word to us, never said hello, goodbye, didn't make eye contact, and pretty much just looked at the ground.
The apartment building was cleared and everyone allowed back in at 5:30 this afternoon. The events this morning were spread all across a mile-long section of downtown near places where many of us visit all the time. Right now at KXAN.com you can find this interactive map. It has a timeline on it. The first calls came in at 2:22, reports of shots fired near the federal courthouse right here. Several minutes later, the calls came in from the Mexican consulate building on West 5th Street. And as we mentioned, police say McWilliams tried to ignite the building using portable camping propane tanks. And at 2:32 this morning, police say their headquarters right here came under fire right next to the interstate. 1 minute later, police returned fire, killing the gunman.
Now, first warning weather with Jim Spencer.
Well, other than the cold early morning hours, it's been a pretty wonderful holiday weekend so far. Today, in fact, we made it up into the low 70s, well above the average of 67, but we did see some spots pretty close to freezing this morning, including the airport. And tonight is the mildest night we've seen all week. As you can see, temperatures still in the mid-50s out there right now. That is a sign of change that will continue through the holiday weekend. A little cooler out there in the hill country, 46 degrees in Llano. Coming up, it is a weekend forecast you don't want to miss. Plus, we've got a specific forecast for the Big Chewies Parade tomorrow morning. Stay with us.
2 people are dead and 3 more injured from a shooting in Williamson County late on Thanksgiving night. It happened in a mobile home neighborhood off of FM 971 in the community of Weir, northeast of Georgetown. This man, Jose Hernandez Benitez, is now under arrest. KXAN's Angie Bevan has more.
Around 11:45 Thanksgiving night, deputies were called out to this mobile home. They say this is where 24-year-old Jose Hernandez Benitez shot 5 people. Williamson County deputies say the shots killed 2 people and wounded 3 at the home. Those injured are expected to be okay. Deputies believe the people involved are family but aren't sure their exact relation. Neighbors we talked to say the cars parked out front aren't normally there and people were visiting for the holiday. Magnus Pantoja lives just across the street. He didn't know what had happened until he saw police arrive.
I heard like 4 shots and at first I thought it was just like fireworks.
He was enjoying Thanksgiving night with his family and says it's hard to believe what happened at the neighbors.
We finished our dinner and stuff, and so I was pretty sad because it's like a time to be with your family.
The suspect, Jose Benitez, was arrested in Caldwell County and is now in the Williamson County Jail. The sheriff's office here hasn't yet released the identities of the 2 people killed. Reporting in Williamson County, Angie Bevan, KXAN News.
Benitez has now been charged with murder. Stay with KXAN for the latest developments in this case. and we'll bring you updates as they happen at our website, KXAN.com. Former National Football League running back Ray Rice can play professional football again. A federal judge today overturned Rice's suspension, handed out after video showed him knocking out his fiancée in a hotel elevator. NBC's Chris Pallone has more from New York.
And again in the NFL, but now he's taken the first step. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
After taking a break on Thanksgiving, about 100 demonstrators joined Black Friday shoppers at the Galleria Mall in St. Louis. Many stores closed their doors during the 2-hour protest over the Michael Brown shooting. Police and the National Guard are keeping watch tonight on the streets of Ferguson. Black Friday shoppers hit the stores today, but not as many as in years past. The reason why coming up. And the Trail of Lights at Zilker Park in Austin. Before the magic begins, it's a whole lot of work behind the scenes.